Hello everybody, Gives a Mac here, and today I'm going to be talking about the best battle rifle in Battlefield Hardline, and I'm going to be showing you guys what I believe is the best battle rifle in Battlefield Hardline. So in Battlefield Hardline we have 4 battle rifles. We have the SA-58 OSW, we have the SCAR H, we have the HK-51, and the H-CAR, and these are all enforcer weapons. They do high damage, they do pretty good range. So we're going to be showing off what I believe to be the best of all these battle rifles. And that weapon is the SA-58 OSW. Now, I'm going to be showing some comparisons on this weapon to all the other battle rifles, and those come from Synthic. I'll have a link in the description to this comparison if you want to go check that out. But let's talk about why the SA-58 OSW is the best. Now, let's first off go to the damage. Now, all battle rifles have the exact same damage models, the exact same drop-offs. You know, the start damage is always 43 up close, 24 at a distance. The damage drop-off start is 20, and the damage drop-off end is 50 meters. So these are actually pretty long drop-offs, and that's whenever you're going to be doing 43 damage. And it's the same for every single battle rifle in the game. Now, let's go through some other stats. Now, the SA-58 OSW has the highest rate of fire of all of the battle rifles at 650 rounds per minute. The SCAR H only has 625, the HK-51 only has 500, and the H-CAR is at the end with 450. So this means that the SA-58 OSW, or the FAL, it's basically the FAL, fires 200 rounds per minute faster than the H-CAR. Now, it only has a magazine size of 21. Now, that is actually something that you need to keep in mind, because the H-CAR has 30, but the reload time on the SA-58 OSW is only 1.8 seconds whenever you have bullets left, and 2.5 seconds whenever you're empty. So if you have a few bullets left, then it will only be 1.8 seconds, which is actually very fast. And then 2.5 seconds for empty reload, that isn't that long either. I mean, all of the battle rifles really are in the same area for that. The SA-58 OSW also has the fastest muzzle velocity and the longest max distance. So the muzzle velocity is 840 meters a second, which is actually very good. It's better than all of the other ones, and the only one that comes close to it is the HK-51, and even then the SA-58 OSW is 190 meters per second faster than the HK-51. So let's go through the max distance. So the max distance on the SA-58 OSW is 1,260. That's way faster than any of the other ones. Any of the other battle rifles, especially like the SCAR H, that's only at 615. And then it also has the fastest reload time, like we've talked about, for the tactical reloads. And then after that, we have the lowest vertical recoil, so that's pretty good. This weapon, I've been using it just tears through enemies. It's amazing. It has so many good stats going through it. I mean, it has the highest rate of fire at 650 rounds per minute. That's actually pretty good. It may not sound that good, but it's actually pretty good. It also has a fast muzzle velocity. It also has a fast max distance and a fast tactical reload. It only has 21 rounds though, so you gotta keep that in mind. But this is the weapon that I believe to be the best battle rifle. If you look at any of the other battle rifles, they don't compete with the SA-58 OSW. Except for maybe the H-CAR. If you want to have 31 rounds instead of 21 rounds, then you could do that. But even then, that weapon has only 450 rounds per minute, and the recoil on it for the vertical recoil is actually pretty bad. Now, the recoil on the SA-58 OSW is recoil up. It doesn't have an equal pull left and right. The right recoil is actually a bit more than the recoil on the left, but it's not by too much where it always pulls to the right. You know, it will be mostly vertical from my experience. If you give a weapon the highest rate of fire and the fastest muzzle velocity and the longest max distance, I don't know what they were doing with this weapon, honestly. Because it doesn't really add up, to be honest. Like, I would think maybe like the H-CAR would have the longest max distance or have the fastest muzzle velocity. But then again, the SA-58 OSW is a pretty good weapon, and I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but compared to all the other battle rifles, it's way better than all of them in almost any way. What I usually like to do with the SA-58 OSW is using mostly close range to medium range. Like if you want like an assault rifle that can do high damage at close range, but you also want to do good damage at long distance, that's what you can do with the SA58 OSW. Now the way I like to outfit this weapon is usually just put on a red dot sight or a Cobra. I mean, I like the red dot sight, but with that triangle with King, I think the triangle is a little too big. The Comp M4 RDS is also pretty good. And just find the one-time sight you really like. You could put on like a 4-time sight and have the canted iron sights on it. The problem with that, in my opinion, is that whenever you have the canted iron sights on this weapon, one, you can't have a canted RDS, and the iron sights, I don't really like them, and the actual, like, whenever you actually go to the canted iron sights, they're on the right side of the weapon instead of the left side like in Battlefield 4. And it just doesn't feel right whenever your weapon is in the middle of the screen and you're aiming down sights with the canted iron sights. I don't like it, and I would just suggest not using that and just going for a lower optic that you like. Now I also usually like to do a heavy barrel just to increase the stationary recoil. You have a heavy barrel on here, and whenever you're firing, just stay in one position, don't move at all, then you will do good. And the recoil isn't that bad, but the heavy barrel will just make it way better. Now, as for the grips, you could really do anything you want on it. I would say probably the potato grip would probably do best. This is going off of what the grips do in Battlefield 4. I usually like to use a stubby grip on it, just so that it doesn't have as much recoil if I'm actually like holding down the trigger. You could also do a suppressor on here if you want to be real close range and you want to be off the radar. You could do that, but that will decrease the range by quite a bit, so I would just suggest don't do that. But let me know in the comments, do you like this weapon, or do you think that a other battle rifle is better than this weapon? I mean, statistically, with the rate of fire that it has, and the muzzle velocity that it has, and the max distance that it has, and the tactical reload that it has, and the vertical recoil, it can't really be beat in my opinion. It's very good in most situations. I mean, so let me know in the comments. Hope y'all enjoy. Feedback's always appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video.